On the news, ECOWAS speaks on Niger Republic, Mali and Burkina Faso's exits from sub-regional bloc, says countries yet to exit formally. Rivers State House of Assembly accuses Fubara of misconduct following recent appointments. And court adjourned Nnamdi Kanu's 50 billion naira suit against federal government until April 22. Hello and welcome to News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I'm Simisola Adigun. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, says it was not officially aware of the withdrawal of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger Republic from the bloc, adding that the three countries remain important members of the community and the authority. On Sunday, the three countries, which are currently under military rule, had announced their exit from ECOWAS, saying they ceased to be members of the bloc, as they claimed the regional body had moved away from the ideals of its founding fathers and Pan-Africanism. They also claimed that ECOWAS had become a threat to its member state. All three countries, which were founding members of ECOWAS in 1975, are currently led by militaries that seized power from elected civilian leaders. In a statement announcing their withdrawal from the bloc, they accused ECOWAS of inhumane sanctions imposed on them to reverse the coups. Meanwhile, ECOWAS says the three countries are important members of the community and the bloc remains committed to finding a negotiated solution to the political impasse. In 2023, the three nations withdrew from an international force known as the G5 that was set up to fight Islamists in the Sahel region, forming their own so-called Alliance of Sahel States. And to discuss the recent development further, African Affairs analyst Achike Chude joins me on the news. Thank you very much for joining me, sir. Now, what do you make of the decision of the three countries to leave ECOWAS?
I think it was inevitable. Seeing the way they were moving, they had shown before now quite a bit of disregard for ECOWAS. And obviously, their interest diverged from the interest of ECOWAS. They are military juntas and have made up their mind really on what they intend to do, how long they intend to stay in power, and all that. And then it's at variance with what ECOWAS obviously was pushing for. And so I think that there were initial mistakes by the ECOWAS, as a body. And the way ECOWAS intervened, especially following the coup in Niger, where they put the first things last, and then the last things first. And then I think as a result of that, the relationship spiraled almost out of control. And so I think what these juntas are doing is just an excuse for them to escape the scrutiny of ECOWAS and the international community. So I think it pays them in terms of what they, their interests. But obviously, it is something that is going to affect them in the long run, because it might not be in the interest of the people of their countries. Eventually, at the end of the day, they are still basking in the euphoria of support that is being given to them by their people. But that support is not going to last for too long, especially when things begin to get out of hand in terms of security imperatives, in terms of the economy, and all that, because they criticize those that they took over from. And so they must be able to walk the talk. Some of those things that they criticize, the past leadership that they overthrew, they should be able to fill the gap. But if they don't, then it's going to create a basis for future agitations by their own people.
All right, now, where does this leave the transition program of these countries, which ECOWAS has been pushing for all this while? I mean, with no external body to put pressure on them, do you think these military leaders will want to leave the stage?
There's no transition program. The transition program, whatever it is that was being mapped out, between them and ECOWAS is dead. That is the essence of pulling out. When they pull out, there's no other obligation to the regional body. So they answer to themselves, they don't answer to the body and to the international community, and so, but there will be a price to pay because the international community is also listening to the, ECOWAS, and have been acting in concert with ECOWAS. And so having pulled out of ECOWAS, they might not expect much support from the international community, except, for instance, if they are going towards France, for instance, to have a kind of, towards Russia, to have a kind of working relationship. They have shown a lot of solidarity with Russia, and Russia has shown a lot of support for these countries. But whether that will be able to carry them, through the difficult period, because there will be difficult period, is something that a lot of us do not know. And so, with regards to the transition program, it's not left for them to decide how they want to go. And then again, the people of their countries too, to decide whether they want to give them a carte blanche to do whatever they want to do.
All right, then African Affairs analyst, Mr. Chike Chude, thank you very much for lending your thoughts. A federal high court in Abuja has adjourned a 50 billion naira suit filed by Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, against the federal government until April 27 for further mention. Justice Iyangeko adjourned the matter after Aloy Ejimako, the lawyer who appeared for Kanu, informed the court that he had just filed a notice for a change of counsel and will be taking over the case from Mike Ozekome, who filed the suit on April 7, 2022. Kanu, who sued the defendants over allegations bordering on violation of his rights, alleged that he was kidnapped from Kenya and brought back to Nigeria to stand trial. The IPOB leader wants the court to determine whether the way and manner in which the plaintiff was abducted in Kenya and extraordinarily rendition to Nigeria is consistent with extant laws. Meanwhile, the health status of the IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu has generated fear from close acquaintances, with his lawyers saying his health has deteriorated and that he is in dire need of medical attention. Shedding light on the current state of Kanu's health, a member of his legal team, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, says reports from an external doctor who conducted an examination during the Christmas period reveals that Kanu is not in good medical condition. The lawyer says the situation requires urgent attention and cannot be adequately addressed within the medical facilities of the Department of State Services, DSS.
I'm not authorized to give you his medical reports because I have all of them with me, but it's not sound medical wise. Shortly before the Christmas, during Christmas, he was quickly attended to by the medical doctor. He has to demand to see his medical doctor, who came. A senior doctor who came to visit him, and on a number of complaints, serious complaints arising from his medical situation. So this situation demands immediate attention, and these are not issues that can be resolved medical-wise while in the facility of SSS. It's issues that can be resolved when he is freed and possibly not in this country too. So because I wouldn't want to go deep into the details of his medical state because it's a private issue. But what I know is that his medical condition is not such that can be taken care of while in the facility of SSS. It's such that requires his immediate release and also probably being flight overseas to be given the adequate and appropriate medical care it deserved in the circumstances of deteriorating health situation.
Well, it's more like 1 week, one trouble in Rivers State. This time, the State House of Assembly has accused Governor Siminalayi Fubara of engaging in illegality with regards to his recent appointments. The Speaker, Martin Amaewhule, leveled the accusation against the governor during plenary on Monday at the Assembly quarters in Port Harcourt, the state capital. The Speaker accused the governor of tyranny, even as the House resolved to write a letter to him warning against his actions. The new development has continued to fuel speculation about whether or not the House would resume its aborted impeachment proceedings against the governor. A coalition of civil society against impunity has called for the reversal on the decision of 18 members of the Ogun State House of Assembly to remove Olakunle Oluomo from the position of Speaker until the dispute is resolved through the proper legal channels. While speaking with newsmen on Monday in Lagos on the controversial removal of the Speaker, the coalition led by Shino Loremikon says the procedure did not pass through due judicial process. Loremikon argued that the Speaker was purportedly impeached on January 23, but was served a notice of impeachment a day after to to answer allegations as contained in the impeachment notice within 72 hours. On his part, the spokesperson for the group, Declan Ihekare, says the arm of government making the law should not be breaking it, as the service of impeachment notice to the Speaker was not properly done.
The coalition calls for thorough investigation into the motivations behind the purported removal of the Speaker. It is crucial for all parties involved to exercise constraint and engage in dialogue, coming to a possible court process to find an amicable resolution to the current crisis.
Such honorable members should not be seen doing anything short of what they are asked to do. And so we are appealing to everybody within that House of Assembly to do the needful, to go back to status quo, to make sure that before you impeach, the service of impeachment, the impeachment notice must be served. And in this case, it's evident that the impeachment notice was served after the impeachment. And so you cannot approbate and reprobate at the same time.
Every form of political recklessness will be resisted by we, the people of Nigeria. And I urge the citizens of Ogun State to stand up and defend their democracy. This is a call to stand up and defend their democracy because it is already endangered. What is happening there is an aberration and must be resisted.
Moving on, the West African Examinations Council and Nigeria office has announced its readiness to commence the conduct of the computer-based West African Senior School Certificate Examination for private candidates, first series effective from Wednesday, January 31, which will run till Saturday, February 17, 2024 across Nigeria. Addressing journalists on the level of preparedness of the council for the exercises on Monday, the head of Nigeria office, Amos Dangote, says the examination which will span a period of 2 weeks and 4 days, will be the first ever computer-based examination and will also be delivered in hybrid mode. Dangote added that the hybrid mode entails the objective or multiple choice questions rendered on screen where candidates are required to give their responses.
The conduct of the computer-based West African Senior School Certificate Examination, CBWAS, for private candidates 2024 first series will take place from Wednesday, January 31 and end on Saturday, February 17, 2023 in Nigeria, spanning a period of 2 weeks and 4 days. Plans have therefore been concluded for this first ever computer-based examination, which will be delivered in hybrid mode. The hybrid mode entails that the objective, otherwise known as multiple choice questions, will be rendered on screen and candidates are required to give their responses on the screen. The essay and practical questions will be rendered on screen. Likewise, but candidates will be required to give their responses using the answer booklets provided. WAEC Nigeria, in keeping with its vision of being a world-class examining body and its core value of innovation, has taken this bold step to offer candidates a viable alternative to the pen and paper model of examinations, while giving its stakeholders and publics a view of the great potential that exists in computer-based approach to assessments.
I will take a break here, but still to come, CBN again disburses $500 million to clear verified FX backlog. Stay with us for details. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Here's a recap of our top stories. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS Commission, says it was not aware of the withdrawal of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger Republic, adding that the three countries remain important members of the community and the authority. On Sunday, the three countries, which are currently under military rule, had announced their exit, saying they ceased to be members of the ECOWAS as the regional body had allegedly moved away from the ideals of its founding fathers and Pan-Africanism. They also claimed that ECOWAS had become a threat to its member states. All three countries, which were founding members of ECOWAS in 1975, are currently led by militaries that seized power from civilian leaders. We also told you that a federal high court in Abuja has adjourned a 50 billion naira suit filed by Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, against the federal government until April 27 for further mention. Justice Inyangako adjourned the matter after Aloy Ejimako, the lawyer who appeared for Kanu, informed the court that he had just filed a notice for a change of counsel and will be taking over the case from Mike Ozekome, who filed the suit on April 7, 2022. Kanu, who sued the defendant over allegations bordering on violations of his rights, alleged that he was kidnapped from Kenya and brought back to Israel to stand trial. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're TV360 Online. Well, it's time for business news. Let's now join Opeyemi Owoseni, who's on standby. Over to you, Opeyemi.
Thank you, Simisola. Hello and welcome to Business News. In a bid to address the backlog of verified foreign exchange transactions, the Central Bank of Nigeria says it released $500 million to various sectors of the economy. The development comes barely a week after the bank paid $2 billion to settle outstanding commitments across manufacturing, aviation, and petroleum sectors. Akama Sidi, the acting director of the Corporate Communications Department at CBN, spoke on the disbursement in Abuja on Monday. She said the management of the CBN is dedicated to settling all legitimate FX backlogs within a short period. Still on business, the federal government leveraging the digital economy is set to empower individuals on data protection. The Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, disclosed this at a media briefing on Sunday in Abuja to commemorate Global Data Privacy Day with the subject "Take Control of Your Data." The minister, while speaking, warned organizations against treating Nigerians as second-class citizens in terms of data privacy, while emphasizing the significance of registering data controllers and processors with penalties for non-compliance. On his path, the chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on ICT and Cybersecurity pledged legislative support to ensure data collection aligns with privacy laws while urging organizations to comply with data protection rules.
In Nigeria, the right to privacy is not alien to our own legal system. It is enshrined in Section 37 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. For ease of reference, it says the privacy of citizens, their homes, correspondence, telephone conversations, and telegraphic communications is thereby guaranteed and protected under the law.
We need to understand that if we consider data to be about human dignity and autonomy, that we all must come together. And it is why, as government today, we're not just looking at this from NDPC perspective only. We're also looking for ways to ensure that we can empower individuals through digital literacy. So you can understand that you have a responsibility to ensuring that you secure your data set. If you're not going to leave your home without locking the door or leaving someone there, then it is also your responsibility to ensure that your data set is protected to a large extent.
In performing our constitutional role as legislators, we collect a lot of documents, a lot of data. We have to make sure that the mode in which we collect this data is also compliant with what we're talking about here today, which is data privacy and protection. So, which means that in the National Assembly, we have to automate a lot of processes as well, in which we interact with all the government agencies and also all this, even with media. We have to change the mode in which we do business. And in all of this automation is going to help us to get to where we're going.
We'll go on a break and be back with Stock Market Report. The Nigerian Stock Exchange began the first weekday of trading on a positive note, increasing by 2.22% and leaving the market cap at 57.29 trillion naira. Now, in the aggregate, 124 NGX-listed equities participated in trading, ending on a negative note with 24 gainers against 38 losers. Oanda led the gainers with 9.96 share price appreciation, closing at 13 naira 80 kobo per share, followed closely by Dangote Cement, which closed at 763 naira 00 kobo per share. At the end of the first weekday of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange NGX, a total of 689 million volumes of shares were exchanged in 15,887 deals, corresponding to a market value of over 25 billion were traded. Now, compared with the previous NGX trading day, that's Friday, January 26th, today's data shows 33% improvement in volume, 193 improvement in turnover, and 41 improvements in deals. Now, it's switched now to our select global stock. European shares were at their highest since January 2022, and bond yield dipped on Monday at the start of a packed week of big corporate earnings, European inflation data, Federal Reserve and Bank of England's meeting, and US job numbers, leaving the UK FTSE and Japan's Nikkei in the bulls territory at 0.064% and 0.77%, and the US Dow Jones in the bears at 0.053%. Well, that's it on both business and stock market reports. Back to you, Simisola, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Akpayemi. On the foreign scene, Gunzi's auction house in New York has halted the sale of approximately 70 personal items belonging to South Africa's anti-apartheid hero Nelson Mandela. Although the auction was abruptly stopped without an explanation, the decision comes in response to public outcry in South Africa. Makaziwe Mandela, the eldest daughter of Nelson Mandela, had planned to auction items such as his hearing aids, walking sticks and reading glasses on February 22 and aims to use the proceeds to fund a memorial garden near his burial site. South Africa's Arts and Culture Minister Zizi Kodwa said the blocking of the sale was necessary as Mandela is integral to South Africa's heritage. On sports, Nigeria Super Eagles are seeking to maintain their hopes of winning their fourth African Cup of Nations title when they face Angola in their next game at the Felix Houphouët-Boigny Stadium in Ivory Coast. The Super Eagles convincingly defeated their arch rival, the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, 2-0 in their previous match thanks to Ademola Lookman's brace. Some Nigerians believe the Super Eagles have what it takes to win their fourth title if they maintain their current form. Our correspondent Sydney Okafor has more.
The three-time AFCON champions secured their spot in the final 8 of the Continental Tournament by defeating their fierce rivals, the the indomitable Lions of Cameroon in the round of 16 in a tense match, making it the 4th ever AFCON victory over the 5 times AFCON champion. Victor Osimhen's performance was outstanding, assisting in the crucial opener. Nigeria's solid defense remained firm with just 1 goal conceded so far to set up a quarter-final match with the Black Sepal Antelopes of Angola on Friday. If they maintain their momentum, sports analysts believe the Super Eagles are on their way to win the AFCON trophy.
We all believe that they should be one of the favorites right now because Egypt, they've been knocked out. One of the teams that were tipped ahead of this competition. Ghana also have been knocked out. They are also one of the favorites. They've won 4 titles. Egypt have won 7. They are gunning for their 8th. So if those favorites have been knocked out, why not if Nigeria has 3? So who says they can't make it 4? So I think we should be considered as one of the favorites. But then, we have to take it one game at a time.
Football fans are optimistic that the Super Eagles will be victorious in their next game.
Based on the last match, the way they played, actually we were really impressed. Nigeria were really impressed. Unlike our first 3 group matches. But the last one we played with Cameroon, really, there are a lot of improvement. And we believed our next one, they will improve more than that.
I believe that playing Angola, which is coming up soon, I believe Nigeria is still going to move ahead.
This sports analyst says Josep Peseiro formation was impressive.
We've gone into the tournament itself, and from the first game, you could see that he can switch his formation at any point in time. He could use a different formation in the first half, go and do a 4-3-3 formation in the first half. In the second half, you're coming back, you're doing a totally different formation. And then second game, he also was really pragmatic and he was switching his formation. So it might not be the best of coaches. It might not be the most exciting coaches with a beautiful style to watch. But then what is a beautiful style when you're not even getting the results? So when whichever tactics it decides to deploy, whichever formation it chooses to go with, let it be a winning formation.
Josep Peseiro, the Super Eagles coach, says that the forthcoming quarter-final game against Angola will be more difficult than the Cameroon match. He has, however, emphasized the need for focus and additional training before the crucial match. Sydney Okafor, TV360, Lagos.
Well, that's it on News Now. Thank you for watching. See you again next time.